welcome to the very first episode of MySadye's Cooking. MySadye's Cooking is a show all about gluten-free foods. That means gluten-free desserts, and meals, and chocolate, and much more. And today we will be making my mother's recipe of banana bread, gluten-free. And I want to warn you before, we are doubling the recipe, so you do half of everything if you want the regular one loaf. The ingredients you will need is 2 cups of butter, or no, not 2 cups, 2 sticks of butter, or 1 cup, but we are doubling the recipe. 8 bananas, 4 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, 4 cups of gluten-free all-purpose flour, and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And for the toppings, you will need cinnamon and sugar and butter for the cinnamon sugar mixture, and butter for it to stick on the bread. And you will also need bread pans, or 1 big bread pan, or 2 because we're doubling the recipe. 2 bowls, 1 big, 1 small, 1 for the dry ingredients, 1 for the wet ingredients. A whisk and a spatula, flat spatula, but we don't have one, so I'll be using this. Step 1, you need to melt your butter to where it's melted, and we will be adding the sugar and butter and mixing it. To microwave butter, you want to start with little increments so it does not burn the butter. I have in the biggest bowl my melted butter, and I'm going to add in the sugar and mix it in. The next thing we are going to do is add in the eggs, all one at a time. So, we're going to mix in the eggs and butter and sugar. Once this is mixed, we're going to start on our dry ingredients. That's the next step. This is how it should look when it's mixed, but it's kind of like sugary eggy soup. Now, we're going to start on our dry ingredients, which is baking soda and flour. We're going to put in 2 teaspoons of baking soda. A teaspoon should look like this. And then 4 cups of flour. See, there's very little baking soda. You didn't actually need a whisk it. But I already had a whisk in this bowl, so. Now we are going to mix in the dry ingredients. And this is also for mashing bananas, actually, so you do need a whisk. Now, because we added the dry ingredients, it should in fact look something like this. The bananas will make it more creamy and the batter how it's supposed to be. So it should in fact look like this. Don't get scared. We're going to mash the bananas. Bananas are, for banana bread, this banana bread, are best when they look like this, like bananas, like, ew, I don't want to eat that. These bananas are the best for banana bread, even though they may look bad on the outside. They're perfect for banana bread on the inside. 8 bananas, and I'm going to mash them up. We got a banana catastrophe here. Oh yeah, these bananas are moist. May want to use a spoon and get the bananas out. And for this recipe, I also recommend that you do not use any electric mixer for anything. Do it by hand and it will turn out the best. I just recommend mashing till they're like this. There's still some clumps. That's okay. It's that way you'll have chunks of banana after you bake. And we're just going to mix them in. To our very, very dry looking batter. It does take quite a while hand mixing, and it will eventually turn out like this. It doesn't look like it at first, definitely not at first, but it should turn out something like this. And it is very thick, but because it's gluten-free, that's better. So now we're just going to take our pans, and you want to grease them first. Spray them with food spray, or I guess some people line them with parchment paper. And for an original recipe, using the small ones, it'll only take up 3. But we're going to double the recipe, so we're going to use 6. You want to make sure it's greased all around so no banana bread will stick, because it is a thick recipe. When you're filling things like this, you want to fill them a little bit more than halfway. The banana bread, when it was done, actually only filled 5, but that's okay. It's not like we need a 6th. We're going to stick these in the oven at 350 degrees for about 50 to 60 minutes. Although you might want to check it at like 45 minutes, just to make sure it's not done before then. And when you do check it with a knife or a toothpick or whatever you may use, and stuff is still on it, and it's like been 50 minutes or something, you have to remember that there's bananas in here. So that banana could be stuck to your knife or toothpick. So you want to check all the other ones, make sure they're done, and even if that one looks like it isn't. For 350 degrees for about 50 to 60 minutes. And now we wait. For the sugar mixture, you'll need sugar and cinnamon, ground cinnamon. And we're just going to pour a little bit of cinnamon into a cup. Yeah, because the spoon won't fit in there. Just a little bit. You don't want a whole lot. Should have probably put it in after the sugar, but. And then sugar. You want more sugar than you do want cinnamon. Just start with a little bit. And this is how it should not look, like cocoa powder. It should not look like that. It needs to be more sugar. If you want to stay on the healthy side, don't put this on because there's a lot of sugar. But you want to get all the cinnamon to where it looks all the cinnamon, because if you get a big bite of that cinnamon, it's not going to taste so good. You want it to look something like this. And this is called the cinnamon sugar mixture. And I'll still show it, but when the bread is done, you want to spread some butter on it while it's warm, not hot, warm, and sprinkle this on top. And perfectly done. Still very, very hot because they just came out. You want to let them cool, and when they're just slightly warm still, you're going to put the butter and sugar cinnamon mixture on. So now we're going to take our sugar mixture and our butter. They are cooled off a little bit. And then you take your sugar mixture and you sprinkle it on top. That's quite a bit. And then you just repeat it with the rest of your breads.